Welcome back to Talk Smack with Mac. On this segment, I'm going to tell you why I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be absolutely trashed this season. All right, so jumping back to 2021, the Steelers went 9-7-1. Pretty solid season last year considering the team that they had around them. Going into the season, we knew it was Big Ben's last season. We were hoping he was going to go out with a bang, but it ended up being average at best. This team plays in the AFC North with the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals, who went to the Super Bowl last year. And that's what's going to kill this team the most. When you are playing against the Browns, Bengals, and the Ravens twice per year, it's looking like 6 losses or 5 losses right out the gate to start the season. Jumping back to 2021, the Pittsburgh Steelers scored 343 points and allowed 398 points. Those are both the worst in the AFC North, and it's only going to get worse coming up this year. When you have the Ravens who are ascending and making additions to their team and they're getting better. You have the Browns who just traded for Deshaun Watson, even though he's going to be suspended for 11 games. They're going to be an immaculate team with a very strong defense and offensive line. And then you have the Bengals who are coming back, and that team is ascending and getting better with age. They have a very young team, and they're only getting better. Now, with the Steelers, they do have some solid pieces on this team. You jump and you look at Najee Harris. This guy came out in his rookie season. He showed that he's very dominant, catching the ball and running the ball. He can get you yards, 3 down back. He's going to put up touchdowns. He's a phenomenal player. But you take away Big Ben and you put in Mitchell Trubisky, who's going to be starting probably the first handful of games, if not more, to get Kenny Pickett in line and let him do his thing and let him come around how he should, very slowly. They don't want to rush this kid too soon because Kenny Pickett does have some talent coming out of Pittsburgh, and it's going to be interesting to see how it translates in his rookie season because most players don't do too well at the quarterback position in their rookie year. In addition to Najee Harris on that offense, they have a couple decent receivers. They have Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. I think the real cat here is Deontay Johnson. He put up 107 catches last year and 8 touchdowns. And Chase Claypool, I hear a lot of good things about this guy, but let's be honest. He had 105 targets last year, and he only brought in 59 catches and only 2 touchdowns. When you're supposed to be the main factor on the outside making plays and you're not really doing the job, it's going to be hard for this offense to move. So with the mediocre quarterback play, the subpar offensive line, it's going to be very easy to stack that box, put 8 defenders in the box, and stop Najee Harris. What's going to happen when the running game is not efficient and the Steelers are going to rely on the pass game? That screams a disastrous situation for them going forward. Now, this defense, they have some big names on this defense. They have T.J. Watt, Mika Fitzpatrick, Cameron Hayward, and Devin Bush. Then in the offseason, they went out and they signed Miles Jack, who's one hell of an athlete at the linebacker position. He has a lot of speed. He could close in on the running back and do big things for them. But even with a perennial all-pro in T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward, this team still finished in the 20s in defense. They weren't as good as they were supposed to be. So that's screaming fear for this team going forward, because if this team is going to have a rookie quarterback or Mitchell Trubisky, which is even worse, they're going to have to rely on that defense. And if this defense is not causing turnovers or stopping other teams from scoring more than 20 points, it's not going to be many wins on this season going forward. Let's look at the draft. We jumped to the draft, and the Steelers went down, and as I mentioned before, they drafted Kenny Pickett, the quarterback out of Pittsburgh, and I'm sure he's going to end up playing this season, maybe half or so, but I'm not expecting too much from this guy. The Steelers doubled down on wide receiver, as they should, because they don't have much talent after those 2 guys I mentioned earlier, and they picked up George Pickens in the 2nd round and Calvin Austin the 3rd in the 3rd round. I don't know how much this is going to help this team. These guys are going to have to ascend and play above their capabilities for this team to be decent. With that being said, the big key factor with this Pittsburgh Steelers team and this organization is Mike Tomlin. This guy has never had a losing record in any season since he has taken over as the head coach, and I think that's going to come to an end this season coming up. My prediction for this team is 6-11. If we look at their schedule, it's not a favorable schedule. Outside of the 6 games of their division that they're going to be playing, they start the season not so good. They're starting with the Bengals, who they're about to get mollywopped. Then they go and they play the Patriots, who they could steal a win in that second week. Then you finish that up in the first month of the season. They have the Browns and the Jets. So it's not the hardest start, and this team could come out firing and maybe be 2-2 or 3-1 after 4 games. But after that, it goes downhill. They got the Bills, Buccaneers, Dolphins, and Eagles before they head into a bye week. That's tough right there. Definitely going to take L's from the Dolphins, Bucs, and Bills, and they might be able to squeeze out a win before the bye week against the Eagles. But coming out of the bye, they're going to be prepared for a New Orleans Saints team who's very solid. They have a great defense, and Jameis Winston has very good control over this offense. But the Steelers might be able to try to keep up with them and get being more prepared coming out of that bye week. They may be able to steal a win against the Saints. But then they go back to the Bengals, Colts, Falcons, Ravens, Panthers, Raiders, Ravens, and Browns. Like, going to end this season, that's 3 straight games that are Steelers about to absolutely get capped. So it's going to be a tough one this year. If the defense does not step up and play a lot better than their 20th ranking from last season, this team is not going to do too good. And for all of you Steeler believers out there, you need to stop being biased, be honest with yourself, and realize that this team is not very good. And Mike Tomlin is going to have his first losing record as an NFL head coach. Mark my words, you heard it here first on Talk Smack with Mac. This is the 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers season outlook and prediction. Yeah, if you like the shit I was talking, make sure you like and subscribe. We out. Let's talk.